Okay, this is a short little video for anybody who is still struggling with Unit 1, P2, M1. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is this PowerPoint, which is in the shared area and has got quite a few links there to really help get you started. Also, you've got to get the writing frame open, which is P2 writing frame. This left hand side, the description is P2. This right hand side is M1. All we are looking for in this left hand side is a description of why someone is a stakeholder. So you can see I've started you off. The parents of the children that attend Crawshaw School are stakeholders because. Finish that sentence and that's that section done. Although I've said here about how they might want to influence it, that isn't as critical as getting this description right. This is just to help you if you're struggling, but this is the main bit. The next section would start, the students that attend Crawshaw School are stakeholders because. The employees that work at Crawshaw School are stakeholders because. And then just explain why. The three main ones that people are having problems with are governors. Click this link, it tells you what a governor is. Put it in your own words and that's that box done. Trade unions, again there's two links, tons of information. Read what's there, put it in your own words and put it in your work and your description's done about trade unions. Finance is a little bit trickier, and if you click on this link it will take you to a story about a guy called Warren Buffett. And I know that loads of you already have tried to Google the word financier and you may have come up with something like this here in Wikipedia. Financier is a person who makes their living from investments, typically involving large sums of money. One of the common mistakes that people are making is that they're saying a financier works within Tesco's. That isn't accurate. If you have a quick look at the story about Warren Buffett, who is one of the world's biggest financiers, the story is about Warren Buffett buying more of Tesco's. For an extra £350 million, he bought about 1.8% of Tesco's. So a really, really small amount for a huge amount of money. Now, Warren Buffett in this case, he's increased his investments and he's bought some extra shares. But an organisation like Tesco's needs money to build supermarkets, and we're talking about tens, potentially hundreds of millions of pounds to be able to do that. If they want to implement a new internet system, it's not a cheap thing to do, and it might be tens, hundreds of millions of pounds again to do something like that. So whenever Tesco's wants to do anything, because it's such a big organisation, it needs huge sums of money. Now, the average person, me or you, might go to the bank and ask them for a loan, but when you're after such vast sums of money, it's people like Warren Buffett that they approach. Warren Buffett is worth in excess of probably about £45 billion, and so he has the money to invest in big businesses. Just as it says here, he owns 8.6% of Coca-Cola, 12.6% of American Express. These are some of the biggest organisations in the world, and he owns quite, although they are small numbers, that is a big percentage of for one individual to own. And so businesses will come to people like Warren Buffett and say, we need to borrow 200-300 million pounds, and then they'll strike a deal, and the deal will either be that he'll buy a little bit of the company, or that he'll lend them it but he expects the money back over a period of time. Whatever deal they strike isn't really that important at this stage. All you need to know is that a financier is somebody who lends large sums of money to an organisation. Okay, and maybe you can describe that in a little bit more detail in order to fill that box out, which is down here. Okay, now once you've completed all those boxes on the left hand side, that is the most important thing to do. You've got to get this up to pass standard first, and for those people who still haven't submitted anything, get it to pass standard first. Get it submitted and get it passed off before you bother starting to do the merit task. The pass task is the most important. If, however, you've got that pass task done or almost finished and you want to crack on with the merit, then fine. But in this merit box, you need to be explaining what objective the particular stakeholder is trying to influence. So, you need to click back onto our PowerPoint here, because our PowerPoint has got the Tesco strategy and the Crawshaw strategy for you to look at. If we quickly first of all look at the Crawshaw strategy, which is here, these are the things, the bold headings, which are the objectives of Crawshaw School. You can use the values, or you can use the 7 guided principles. I'm not particularly fussed. So let's say, for example, first choice for parents. You need to have a read of these and try and work out what these mean, but you need to think, well, who would like Crawshaw to be the first choice for parents? Well, let's have a think. Suppliers. If Crawshaw is the first choice for parents, then that will mean that the suppliers will be able to sell more things to Crawshaw because more students will be going to Crawshaw and Crawshaw will be getting bigger. Therefore, your piece of work, your explanation could start. The suppliers of Crawshaw would like to influence the first choice for parents, and put that in bold. This is because, and then explain how that will benefit the suppliers. What does the government want to influence? What does the trade union want to influence? Why do they want Crawshaw to try and live up to some of its aims and objectives? I think one of the ones that people have definitely been struggling with is trade unions and employees. Why do the trade unions and employees, or what aim and objective do they want Crawshaw to live up to? If I was to give you a quite a strong hint, I'd probably be thinking about something around everyone having a voice. As a member of staff who works at Crawshaw, I'd like to believe, or like to think, that my voice is being heard. I don't want things just happening to me in the workplace. I want to feel as if I've got issues, concerns, I want training better, that actually my bosses and the managers of Crawshaw are listening to the things that I've got to say. So that's quite important to me. And also, I think my trade union, I want them to be fighting to make sure that that our voice is being heard as staff within the organisation. Thinking more about the merit side further down here. So again, for Tesco's, there isn't so much to go for. If you have a look at the Tesco's objectives, which are here, the Tesco's objectives, we've got, you can have any of these 4. No one tries harder, understanding customers, etc. And then we treat people how we want to be treated, and we use our scale for good. Now, most of them are going to be no one tries harder for customers for Tesco's, but it's just about how you explain it. For example, the shareholders. What do the shareholders want? The shareholders want more money. How do they get more money? If the customers come back again. So what do they want Tesco's to do? Make sure that no one tries harder for their customers. The same would be employees. Employees want more promotion opportunities, they want greater job security, and that comes about if Tesco's is popular. So again, it could be a similar one. So for lots of the Tesco's one, people are trying to be, I think they're struggling because they're worried about putting the same objective down more than once. That's not a problem, putting the same objective down more than once. It's about how you explain that stakeholder, what do they benefit if Tesco's achieves that aim. So that's, a short 8.5 minute video about how you can complete P2 M1. Hopefully that gives you a bit more help and guidance about how to try and get through that, in particular the tricky bits that people are struggling with. But first of all, get P2 done, get that passed off, and then tackle the M1. Even if you've started M1 and you're unsure, a bit shaky about it, get the P2 passed off first, and then come back to the M1 at a later date.